Hi, this is Rachel with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do pearl and gemstone knotting with spaces in between your beads. Pearl knotting is a very traditional technique for wearing a string of pearls or stones, and it keeps your stones from rubbing up against each other, so it protects your beads and it looks pretty. This necklace is an example of the traditional way to do pearl knotting. It's actually using jade beads and gold beads, and as you can see, the beads are right up against each other, just separated by knots. And the knots keep the beads from rubbing up against each other, which can cause harm to something delicate like a pearl. So another aesthetic choice is to keep your beads separated. So this is another project I'm working on, it's in progress. And this is a strand of garnet, and here I'm keeping these beads separated with not only knots, but a little length of thread between each of the beads. And this creates a very delicate look with these gaps where you can see the very fine thread. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is a strand that I just started using red Griffin silk and some rose quartz chips. And we have another video on how to start pearl knotting with tweezers. So just to recap, what I did first was I took my Griffin silk off of the card, made a knot at the end without the attached needle, and then I added a clamshell knot cover, and that's how I started this thread. So what I'm going to do now is show you two ways to do pearl or gemstone knotting with spaces between your beads. One way involves measuring the space between your beads so you can know exactly how much space you're adding between your gemstones or pearls, and another way is just to eyeball it. I personally prefer eyeballing because I'm a little bit impatient and I kind of like the organic look that results when you have slightly different lengths between your beads. But I'll just show you what I'm going to do. So to measure, I have a ruler here. And if you're familiar with pearl knotting, or if you watch our other video, you know that you start by making a loose knot, and then you insert your pliers into the knot and grab the thread and pull the knot closed around it. So I'm just going to measure here. It looks like I have just under ½ an inch between each of these beads. So I'm going to just look at that ruler and insert my tweezers where I want that next knot to go. Thinking right about here. And now I'm just going to pull the thread and create that knot at exactly the length that I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a bead onto the attached needle of this Griffin silk cord. Slide it down. And now I'm going to create another knot to hold that bead in place. And just pull and use my tweezers to tighten that knot down on top of the beads so it's nice and secure. So that's how to do it measuring. You can also just eyeball it, which is my preferred method. And it works pretty well because you can check out how much space you have between your previous beads and then say, I want my next bead to go over here. So I'm just going to pull that knot down, tighten it with the tweezers, and now I'm all ready to add another gemstone bead, slide it down, and make another knot to secure it. As close to that gemstone or pearl bead as you can get it. Griffin silk comes in lots of different sizes, which is good because it will fit any type of bead you have. And the way to know if you're getting the right size Griffin silk is to check out the front of the package, and it says the millimeter width of the silk thread, and then just check out the size of the hole of your beads and see if you can figure out which size is best for the beads you're working with. It's a little bit harder with gemstone beads because sometimes their holes are a bit irregular. So in that case, I would advise to tend downward toward a slightly thinner thread, because then you know that at least your thread will fit on all of your beads. So that's how to do pearl and gemstone knotting with spaces in between your beads. You can find all of these supplies at beadaholique.com. Thanks for watching!